Adam Burden is Accenture's Global Innovation Lead and Chief Software Engineer, and he's responsible for functions that span the research and development and advisory services, as well as Accenture's worldwide network of innovation hubs. He holds more than a dozen patents in the field of software engineering, and he's been doing quantum research with the Accenture labs for over a decade. Adam led Accenture's largest business segment in North America, overseeing the fastest growth period of technology services in 20 years. Adam is also a practitioner who's delivered many pioneering technology engagements, including establishing the world's largest wholesale electricity market and building a true network effect platform business for a global insurance provider. Adam led Accenture's intelligent cloud and engineering practice both globally and within Asia Pacific, and led the incubation programs for next generation disruptive technologies. We're excited to hear Accenture's perspective today. Adam, please come share with us your latest stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Stu. Thank you. Wow, what a kind introduction. Thank you, Stu. That was really nice of you. So, hi everybody. As you heard, I'm Adam Burden. I'm part of Accenture. I've been there for a while now. I guess it's 32 years. And my role is running all of our innovation globally, and I'm also our chief software engineer. One of the great privileges I have, though, is working and overseeing the work of our research labs. And we've had a quantum-specific computing group in there now for a decade, incubating and building the practices of the future that our clients are going to need as they apply quantum computing to their business. So I'm going to spend probably about 10 minutes or so just talking to you about a subject that's close to my heart, which is quantum readiness. Although I'm going to maybe take a different twist on it and say quantum unreadiness. And there's some things I want to share here that I think will be super helpful for this group to kind of bring back stories and maybe show and demonstrate to people quantum unreadiness that exists in your own organization, so that we as a collective can be better beacons for what quantum readiness really should mean to our industries. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to spend, as I said, a few minutes on the state of the market here. Let's just start talking a little bit about post-quantum readiness. Now, the good thing about being at this conference is I'm with a lot of like-minded people, right? We've got people here who see the value and potential. They're excited about solving all of these intractable problems with quantum computing. They're thrilled at the prospect of inventing new molecules and otherwise. But there's a whole community out there as well that needs to be inspired. And I'd say that this inspiration really kind of comes and there's maybe 3 barriers to it right now. The first is there's a big dialogue that's going on about security. In fact, it's almost the dominant conversation. People are petrified of PQC and what that's going to mean to the security of their websites and others. So I think that we need to do better with the security conversation. So I'm going to talk about that just for a minute first. And then I'm going to get into talking about quantum value. Yesterday, I had the great privilege to exercise my background in physics and electrical engineering to be able to talk to people and understand what the latest advances are in quantum computing. However, it left me a little bit saying, this is kind of abstract for the average business person. We probably need to put this in more business terms. And we've come up with something that we've worked on with MIT that I'm going to show you in a minute that you really like, that really looks at quantum value and quantum economic value that's produced. And the third thing is around sharing stories. And we as a group need to do a better job of doing that. And I have an ask at the end related to that. So with that, let's actually start talking about quantum readiness and specifically around quantum cryptography. This is a really neat site that we've created called isitquantumsafe.info. And in a minute, I'm going to give you a QR code where you can go to it and look at some things. This tool set is updated with the latest NIST standards that were just released. And it is basically used to say, hey, is your browser safe? Is your connection safe? What else can I learn? Is this app safe? And also, is this website safe? So I thought it might be kind of interesting to actually use this and maybe test all of us and see which of the companies and the esteemed representatives here have actually done things to make their own sites, their own external websites, quantum safe. And if we're supposed to be the beacon for the rest of the world, I'm not sure we're doing that great of a job. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. But before I get into that, I'm going to show some logos up here. If there's anybody from any one of these companies in here, would you guys stand up? Stand? Anybody? Anybody? I'm actually going to take a seat here for this one. There's not one. Oh, wait, there we go. There's one, two. So these are the only companies here who have quantum safe websites. There's more than 300 of us here. These are the only ones that have actually taken the time to protect their websites. In some cases, they're actually using Cloudflare for this, but in most cases, they've actually gone in and applying post-quantum cryptography standards to do that. And I got to tell you, the numbers are not good about this. We've done some other research in this space to kind of figure out, like, of the top 1 million websites in the world, how many of those websites have actually been protected. Now, here on this slide, I'm actually showing a little video of a mobile version of the app I was talking about, isitquantumsafe.info, and it's testing some of the companies here. Now, you'll notice that I only recorded the ones that actually had quantum safe websites because, and it's a very short loop as a result of doing that, but it's actually showing who they are. Now, we tested a top 1 million websites around the world, and we found that there was only 24% of them that actually had quantum safe cryptography in place. 24%. And in fact, that number is misleading because I would say 2/3 of them, maybe more, are using Cloudflare for acceleration content hosting. And as a result, they're kind of getting quantum safe cryptography by default. So that is a terrible number to begin with, to say it's 24%. It's worse when we look at who's presenting here, right? And I sat down because as much as I've sort of beat the drum on this, I haven't been able to get my own organization to make our own website quantum secure, although we're working on that. I am assured it's a work in progress at this point. But for even those that are presenting here, we're only 18%. And then for organizations that are attending QWC, 7%. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Does anybody watch Game of Thrones? Do you remember the woman walking down the street? Like, shame? Yeah, exactly. I really feel like we have to set a better example here. We're the ones out there talking about how disappointed we are in the readiness of the market when we're not ready ourselves. We have to do better, right? Only 7%. That is a pretty terrible number. Now, this site, isitquantumsecure.info, just click on the QR code. My colleague, Carl Dukatz, who's in the room here, leads our quantum computing practice for Accenture. Or you can go find him afterwards. He'll be happy to give you a little tour of it. It's something we're making freely available to anybody that wants to use it, to test out things. Take it back, show it to your CISO, and say, we've got to do better. We have to be better examples of what quantum security should be out in the market. Now, that said, I would also say the second thing that we need to do to improve our general quantum readiness is do a better job with sort of taking the abstract of talking about trapping individual atoms and some of the things that are really important to the future of quantum computing and put it into context of business. So we did exactly that. We created this amazing tool set called the Quantum Economic Advantage Calculator. We did this with MIT. And what we did is we took some of the standard forecasts that came from the different quantum computing providers out there. The one I'm going to show you is from Rigetti, and said, okay, at what point does this calculation become more economically efficient and faster as well than classical computing? And I'll zoom in on these in just a second so you can see a little bit more detail. But this really kind of breaks it down for people and helps them sort of appreciate really where is it that we're going to be able to go with quantum computing and how soon should we expect this to happen. So the first example that we did was with, I'm sorry, I was actually showing the first one. The first example that we did here was with integer calculation. And around 2031 or so, we believe that integer calculation, integer factoring will actually be to the point where it's actually economically advantageous in there, in doing that. Now, you can There's all kinds of adjustments that you can make to this, and I'll show you some of that in just a second. This is a relatively sophisticated calculator that has fine tuning in it, and you can choose whatever quantum computing partner or ecosystem partner that you want and actually plug them in, and it'll give you the forecast based on their latest hardware technology projections. The next one we did was actually for quantum chemistry. And I've been talking to a few clients about this around. Some clients who are particularly in the pharma industry, quite interested in new molecule discovery, that type of thing. We believe that based on the forecasts and economic advantage analysis that we did around 2029 or so is when we'll start seeing this actually start to achieve better results than what actually happens from classical computing. Or even what's possible from classical computing as the number of factorizations begin to increase. So incredible, easy tool set to really pull up and show people what's possible. Now this is neat because this is the zoom in and kind of let you make some changes to what types of problems you want to solve, whether it's the quantum chemistry problem or the integer factorization or other problems that we've got built into here. You can choose, of course, what roadmap you want to use. In this case, as I mentioned, we're using Rigetti, and then it'll actually help you. There's some sliders here about how much do I really believe that, or how much am I skeptical about that? And it'll actually allow you to take this and have a business conversation about when it is that we need to be prepared for quantum computing and back up from that. This is one of the great challenges that I think that we have in quantum readiness is taking some of these things and really putting it in the context that you can have an intelligent conversation with your business partners and say, this is where we believe this begins to make a difference, and therefore our organization needs to be prepared here to do that. So that was point 2 I wanted to make around quantum readiness, is having more business-oriented conversations and equipping people with tools to do exactly that. And free tool number 2 from Accenture for you to take and do this. There's no cost. You can use the QR code there, and we're making it available to anybody that wants to use it at this conference or in the world for that matter. Now, the third thing that's on our mind is there's not enough early success stories that people are talking about. We talk about bringing together scientists to work together and some early experiments that, for example, is happening in military applications and quantum sensing and sort of the latest generations of that, but not enough like real deep business successes in doing this. So I'll share 2 of them right now, and then I'm going to give you a site that we've built with the World Economic Forum in just a second, where you can upload some of your success stories so we can do a better job sharing this and kind of build more momentum out in the business community to say there is great promise coming from quantum computing, and look at some of the early success stories that are happening. So the first one I'll talk about is actually with a bank. It's a quantum security success story, which is great. We actually took a large bank's systems. We ranked them based upon the cryptography risk that they had, and we went and actually showed them how to actually remediate them to be quantum secure. We did it in a very automated fashion. My quantum computing practice that we've been building now for the better part of a decade is obviously well equipped to do something like this, and it's the type of thing we like to help our clients with. In this case, the client really just wanted us to show them how to do it, and then they're going to go and resolve the rest of the problems themselves. Some of the things are more nuanced and difficult to deal with. Some of the things are actually quite straightforward. We equip them with the right tools, and now they're off and running to do this. But that's one bank. There's a lot more out there that needs to be solved. A second one I'll talk about is with the Quantum City Challenge. And this particular one was really interesting because it's more of an ecological problem. We used a hybrid a quantum computing example here to basically go in and help them figure out what can we do to improve some of the ecological impact or reduce the ecological impact that comes from a particular type of mining that was done in this quantum city in Alberta, Canada. And through the use of this hybrid environment, we were actually able to show them, here is the way that you should actually be refining this bitumen, if I'm saying that correctly. You should be refining this so that it creates an optimally less level of contaminants that you actually have to clean up afterwards. And they're using this now to actually show how they can actually improve the ecological impact or reduce the ecological impact of a particular type of mining. So this type of problem, good things are happening out in the world, and we don't do enough to share them. And that's why I keep saying that we have to do better from a readiness standpoint. So first, definitely show people that they can act on security, and giving them an example of that security website I just showed you is an awesome way to do that. Second, show them money, right? Here's the economic advantage that's out there with that MIT tool. You've got the QR code to do that. And the third one, tell more stories and successes that are out there and share them broadly. And I'll just finish with, this is the Quantum Application Hub that we've built for the World Economic Forum. Again, a third QR code of yet another website to go to. But this particular one is a place for people to upload stories. The World Economic Forum will actually wants to publish these to build more momentum and more global interest in adopting and embracing quantum computing. And we're proud to have partnered with the World Economic Forum on doing this. And you'll see the stories I just mentioned to you, as well as many others out there. So as you're out talking about the success and the potential success of quantum in the market, this is a great place to go grab some of that content. So thank you. I appreciate the time to have a chance to talk to you. Please do show that quantum security website tool. And next time when I come back here in a year, if that number's not above 7%, I'm really disappointed with all of you. Shame, shame, shame. Thank you. Take care.